support. Right, so we were fed, I feel so lied to with everything in regards to replacement support. So when we had the proposed list, we were initially provided with the possibility that everything could be a replacement support. So it was like, here's the list of NDIS supports, but we're going to, I'm just checking, am I correctly? Because I've just seen Tara say something. Okay, cool. Here's your list of NDIS.
Is mine back?
Yep. It is. Hello.
Is mine back? Yep. All right. All right, I'll jump in. So our replacement support is the new version of, can I have it? We actually, I don't know, Hayley, if you've seen anybody with a successful round on their replacement support, but we haven't actually had one come through Kindship yet.
I think we've had 3.
So that have got approved, that have gone through.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Well, that's good to see that it is a real process. So to get something funded as a replacement support, it really does need to relate to the child's disability, related to what they need, increasing that capacity building, independence, and reducing the need for supports around them, equal or lower cost than what it's replacing. So it might be, items that can help them. For example, an iPad may help the participant with their communication skills. Just because you once had an iPad funded by the NDIS doesn't mean that you will now get another one. So in anything that you have had before doesn't mean that it is relevant now. So the process through this, as I said previously, a replacement support isn't something that's added on to your plan, not like assistive technology or capital supports. You need to have it swapping out. So it could be swapping out the need for support worker hours. It could be swapping out the need for therapy. But you need to come up with that cost effectiveness to show the difference of substituting those and how it is going to be a benefit for the participants specifically in that substitution. Another place that we at Kindship have had some wins in sort of working around this situation, instead of having to go down the replacement support path, is a lot of people say, but I discussed this in the planning meeting. Why wasn't it put in my plan? And if it's not in the plan and it's not in anything we have, we can't approve it, especially if it's on the no list. Quite often, some of these supports, not always, but they will have the planner would have made notes for how they've structured the plan, how they've put it together. The LAC will have access to those planners' notes, or you can call the NDIS. And we have had success with being able to get clarification from the NDIS to say, particularly in relation to like consumables items, and those sort of ordinary items, and to say that this participant was approved for this list of items as part of their consumables budget because they are relevant to their impairment, their disability. We've been able to get that directly from the NDIS. So it can't be this, well, he said, she said, I can have it. We do need that. You need to have that documentation there. So the replacement support, if you go to the next slide, I think it's got the information on applying for it. So again, emphasizing the fact that you're not asking for more funding. You have to have that replacement of using your funding in a different way. So some participants, for example, might have their core budget that is more loaded than their capacity building budget, and they might actually want to engage more therapy to do reports for assistive technology, for example. But that you can't move there's a lot of restrictions. So you need to be applying to and justifying how you're moving those funds, um, and how you're replacing that support. So looking for equal or better outcomes from the situation. The cost effectiveness is really the big thing in here, is showing, well, if they are funding this item that's ordinarily on the no list, or perhaps questionable, the NDIS need to see that evidence there. And evidence is always your big thing. So all different kinds of um, documentation and their justification that you could have, depending on the situation of having allied health reports. You might have calculations of showing, this many support worker hours could be replaced if this item is able to be used by the participant, for a certain period of time per day, and that sort of thing. So there are a couple of documents that you can use. So we've got our references here to the NDIS website for the replacement support fact sheet, which tells you those items that Hayley highlighted earlier, around exactly what can be applied for as a replacement support, and then the form for the application. So things like smartwatches, and people are saying, but the participant needs it for their continence and for their reminders, things like that. They are a no unless you're applying for them as a replacement